Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for being here. In a world where everyone wants to speak, choosing to listen is one of the most powerful things that you can do. So, thank you so much for your time, for your attention, and for your silence, where silence is a missing part of stories will finally show up. And I'm not here to inspire anyone, because I was just a girl following her dreams and want to be the best version of herself, which I'm not yet. I was introduced with some big words. Thank you so much for that. But let me tell you who I really am. I'm Arunima Jayan. I'm a software engineer. I'm 24 years old. I was born and raised in Uttapalam, Palakkad, Kerala. And I'm also a professional model and the reigning Miss Kerala 2025. And there is still so much for me to figure out. I'm still learning and I'm still unlearning. So if you're waiting for that perfect person to talk to you today, I'm not her. But maybe that's exactly why I'm here. When I was in 7th standard, I was watching a random YouTube video. It was a Miss Kerala video. I don't remember the year, I don't remember the winner, but I remember the feeling that I got. I remember thinking that I want to be that girl, not just because of the crown, but because she stood there with confidence, presence. And at that age, I remember thinking that this looks easy. But little did I know that growing up would change that belief completely. As I grew older, the world, society, and the people around me taught me to see myself differently. I started feeling deeply insecure about things that I never worried as a child. That's when I realized something important. My dreams wasn't hard, but unlearning the things that the world taught me about myself was. So my dreams stayed there quietly. I didn't prepare about it. I didn't prepare. It was there, unfinished, quiet. And there is one more reason why I waited. I come from a middle-class family with no prior industry connection. My father is a private company manager, and my mother is a homemaker. So there's something that I realized very early, that my dreams cost money. Pageants are not just about confidence. It involves grooming, travel, preparation, and time. And I didn't want my dreams to become a financial burden on my father's shoulder, who was already struggling with his 2 daughters. So I waited. I worked, I studied, I was doing modeling, so I was earning. And I became financially independent first. Financial independence gave me courage. It gave me timing, it gave me dignity. People say that money can't buy happiness, but money bought me peace, and that peace gave me the courage to move forward. And yeah, I'm a software engineer. I work in a Canadian-based company in Kochi, and I genuinely love my job. And at the same time, I'm deeply passionate about modeling. I started modeling even before Miss Kerala. I was scouted through Instagram. I was having shoots, billboards across Kochi, and magazines work. And from the outside, it all looked glamorous, right? But modeling is also extreme hard work. For one ad campaign, hundreds to thousands of people will apply. And getting shortlisted among them means you're already under a very small percentage of selected candidates. And even if you get selected, you may get rejected, replaced, or cancelled at the last moment. And mentally, it can be very hard to handle. What people see is just 1 or 2 pictures on the billboard, but not the work behind it. Shoots that start 3 a.m. in the morning and last till 12 o'clock, sometimes 20 plus hours, smiling even when something doesn't feel light inside you. But it looks glamorous outside. But here's the thing that I genuinely love about modeling, that the people it brings close to me. I get to work with incredibly passionate and creative and talented people who live and breathe their craft. The cinematographers, the editor, the stylist, the makeup artist, the art team who lives and breathe their craft. And I get to travel to different places for the shoots. I get to wear clothes that I once only saw in magazines. And I get to see my face on different parts across the city. And I don't pretend that it doesn't feel surreal. But let me tell you, the most beautiful part is, watching my father pointing at the billboard and showing it to his friends, watching my mother buying magazines with my face on it and giving it to the relatives. My family is where fashion was not explored enough, especially my mother. She was really passionate about fashion, but she grew up in a world where certain dreams were not even a career option. So I take her to shoe sometimes, and she watches everything closely, the direction, the clothes, the grooming, the styling, and I realize that she is not watching me. She is watching the younger version of herself. And even my father, who had strict opinions about what I should wear and what I shouldn't, now stands in front of my billboard with pride. So yeah, I'm managing both engineering and modeling. But still, I haven't fully figured out my life yet, and I don't think that's a weakness. I think that confusion will open doors to something that you never knew existed. So when I finally decided to participate in Miss Kerala, it was my first attempt. I had no pageant coaching, no insider guidance, no safety net. No one in my family understood the world. I started walking up and down my hallways, turning it into runways in my 6 inches heels. And I asked my parents to throw random questions at me so that I can prepare thinking on my feet. I wrote answers, I rewrote it, I watched the previous videos and everything, and there were moments I doubted myself if someone like me belonged in that space at all. But my doubts were not bigger than my dreams, so I gave it a shot. I prepared, and if you ask me, yeah, it was exhausting. But strangely, it was the most fun part. And I prepared so much. I watched discussions. YouTube was my mentor, ChatGPT also, and I was writing all the question and answers and everything. But if you ask me if I gave my absolute best on that finale stage, probably not. But standing on my dream stage under that bright lights, I gave it everything I had. And that's what courage asks of us, right? But here's the thing that rarely makes it into the story. So when I was preparing for Miss Kerala, I was staying with the top 20 contestants who already got selected from thousands of applicants. So we were having grooming for 2 weeks, and I was staying in a hotel in Kochi. And these 20 people were really, really talented, smart, confident, and beautiful. So comparison is inevitable. We'll compare. We are humans. After 2 days, I'm going to step on my dream stage. So I was under a lot of pressure. That's when I got a call from one of my professors. I looked at the phone and I was so happy because he reminded about my competition. I took the call and he was like, "Hey Arunima, how's everything going?" And I said, "Oh sir, I'm tensed, but I'm going to do my best." And he said, "You know what? I was showing your pictures to my daughter, and she said, you're too fat for that stage." And then he continued, "Even my daughter is taller than you." After cutting that call, I cried for hours. I didn't ask any of that. I remember crying for hours, and the worst part is that I even carried his words onto that stage. When I was standing on my dream stage, I was not thinking that I made it. I was thinking, is everyone seeing what I saw? Physical beauty, especially for women, are largely defined by male gaze. Your arms, your height, your waist. And this is something that you don't expect to hear. The women who are placed at the center of the beauty standards are insecure, even models. The pictures that you see on billboards, magazines, are constructions. That's work. Retouching, editing, lighting, teamwork, that's not the reality. And yeah, I am living the dream that I once prayed for. But dreams doesn't complete you. It expands you. I'm grateful, but I'm still restless. I'm happy, but still hungry. And you know, achievements doesn't end the question. It asks a better one. Even after winning Miss Kerala, even after getting the crown, when I go to a family functions, No one asked about my journey. What they asked is, did you get fat? Did you get tanned? What's your salary now? When are you going to get promoted? When's your marriage? I don't blame them, because that's how society taught them to measure success. But if you live by other people's measurements, you will never feel enough, even when you're winning. So, the one thing that I want you guys to remember is that being unfinished is not failure. It's permission. It's permission to try, it's permission to change, it's permission to want more. If someone so unsure like me can take that step, so can you. I didn't begin because I was confident. I became confident because I began. Thank you.